Hello, friends. I'm Miss Peeler, a teacher at Lexington Elementary. I teach in the first grade, special education, and this is my husband, Mr. Peeler, who also is a teacher at Carroll High School. He's going to be reading some of our parts in our story today, as well as playing Cuban-style drums, since our story today is a Cuban folktale. Now, who remembers what a Cuban folktale is, or what a folktale is, period?
It's a story that's been passed down from generation to generation.
That's right. And different folktales are told all over the world. They usually have animals that act like people, and they teach a moral or a lesson. Also, friends, do you remember reading about similar stories in different lands? We read Cinderella in the first grade, which is a story, if you remember, that originates in France. And these other stories were similar to this story. We had The Girl with the Red Slippers from a country called Egypt, and Billy Beg, which originated in Ireland. Well, our story today takes place in the city of Havana in a little country called Cuba. So we're right here in Louisiana, and Cuba, or Cuba as they pronounce it, is down here in the Caribbean. Now, have you ever heard of a beautiful cockroach?
No.
Well, believe it or not, there was one beautiful cockroach. Her name was Martina. She wasn't just any cockroach. She was a beautiful cockroach. And just as Cinderella's prince had to find a wife, Martina must choose a husband. She has 4 to choose from. Don Gallo, the rooster. Don Cerdo, the pig. Don Lagarto, the lizard. And Perez, the little mouse. Now, some of these words may sound a little funny to you if you're an English speaker because they are Spanish words. Gallo just means rooster. Cerdo just means pig. And Lagarto just means lizard. So while we're reading today, I want you to listen to Spanish words that you hear in the story and see if you can figure out what they mean just by listening to the context or the words and the sentences around it. However, is she going to choose? Are you ready to find out? Let's get started. Now, this story is a retelling of a Cuban folktale by Carmen Agra Didi, and it's illustrated by Michael Austin. Martina Josefina Catalina Cucaracha was a beautiful cockroach. She lived in a cozy street lamp in old Havana with her big, lovable family. Now that Martina was 21 days old, this is Martina here. Now that she's 21 days old, she was ready to give her leg in marriage. The Cucaracha household was crawling with excitement. Every señora in the family had something to offer. Tia Cuca gave her una peineta, a seashell comb. Mama gave her una mantilla, a lace shawl. But Abuela, her Cuban grandmother, gave her un consejo increíble, some shocking advice. You want me to do what? Martina was aghast. You are a beautiful cockroach, said Abuela. Finding husbands to choose from will be easy. Picking the right one would be tricky. But, stammered Martina, how was spilling coffee on a suitor's shoes help me find a good husband? Her grandmother smiled. It will make him angry. Then you will know how he will speak to you when he loses his temper. Trust me, Martina, the coffee test never fails. Martina wasn't so sure. Meanwhile, Papa sent El Perico the parrot to spread the word. Soon all Havana, from the busy streets of El Prado to El Moro Castle, was abuzz with the news. Martina, the beautiful cockroach, was ready to choose a husband. As was the custom, Martina would greet her suitors from the balcony, under her family's many watchful eyes. Daintily, she sat down and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs, and crossed her legs. She didn't have long to wait. Don Gallo, the rooster, strutted up first. Martina tried not to stare at his splendid shoes. Keeping one eye on his reflection, Don Gallo greeted her with a sweeping bow.
Caramba! You really are a beautiful cockroach. I will look even more fabulous with you on my wing.
With that, he leaned forward and crooned,
Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha, won't you be my wife?
Martina hesitated only for an instant. Coffee, senor? Right on cue, Abuela appeared. With a quick glance at her grandmother, Martina nervously splattered coffee onto the rooster's spotless shoes. Oh my, she said with mock display. I'm how foolish today.
Kiki-kari!
The rooster was furious.
Clumsy cockroach. I will teach you better manners when you are my wife.
Martina was stunned. The coffee test had worked. A most humble offer, senor, she said coolly. But I cannot accept. You're much too cocky for me. Don Cerdo the pig puffed up next. His smell curled the little hairs on Martina's legs. What an unimaginable scent, Martina wheezed. Is this some new pig cologne?
Oh no, Signorina. It is the sweet aroma of my pigsty. Rotten eggs, turnip peels, stinky cheese.
Don Cerdo licked his chops and sang,
Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha, won't you be my wife?
Martina had already left in search of coffee. She wasted no time with the pig,
Wrong, wrong.
squealed Don Cerdo as he dabbed at the coffee on his shoes.
What a tragedy for my poor loafers.
He really is quite a ham, thought Martina. Calm yourself, senor. I'll clean them for you.
I'll say you will. When you are my wife, there will be no end to cleaning up after me.
Martina rolled her eyes in disbelief. A most charming offer, senor, she said dryly. But I must decline. You're much too boorish for me. The coffee test had saved her from yet another unsuitable suitor. The pig was scarcely out of sight when Don Lagarto, the lizard, crept over the railing. His oily fingers brushed the little cockroach's lovely mantilla. You shouldn't sneak up on a lady like that.
I don't sneak. I creep.
For some reason, this fellow really bugged her. "I've had enough of creeps for one day," said Martina. "Adios."
But I need you. Wait.
The lizard fell on one scaly knee and warbled,
Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha, beautiful muchacha. Won't you be my wife?
Martina sighed. "Let me see if there's any coffee left." This time she wasn't taking any chances. Martina returned with 2 cups for the lizard. He spat. Don Lagardo was livid. He changed colors 3 times before he finally found his true one.
And to think I was going to marry you.
Martina stared at the lizard. You could have heard a breadcrumb drop. "Food for thought, senor," Martina said icily. "But I must refuse. You're much too cold-blooded for me." When her grandmother returned to collect the day's coffee cups, Martina was fuming. "I'm going inside, Abuela." "So soon? See, I'm afraid of who I might meet next." Abuela drew Martina to the railing and pointed to the garden below. "What about him?" Martina looked down at the tiny brown mouse, and her cockroach heart began to beat faster. Tick-a-tack, tick-a-tack. "Oh, Abuela, he's adorable. Where has he been?" "Right here, all along." "What do I do?" "Go talk to him and just be yourself." Martina handed Abuela her peineta and mantilla, then scurried down to the garden. The mouse was waiting. Ticket, ticket.
Hola. Hello.
His voice was like warm honey.
My name is Perez.
"Hola," she whispered shyly. "I'm Martina."
The beautiful cockroach.
He finished for her. "You think I'm beautiful?" The little mouse turned pink under his fur.
Well, my eyes are rather weak, but I have excellent ears. I know you are strong and good, Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha.
Then he squinted sweetly.
Who cares if you are beautiful?
Ticket, ticket. "Martina, don't forget the coffee." It was Abuela. No, thought Martina, no coffee for Perez. "Martina, Josefina, Catalina, Cucaracha." "Sí, Abuela." Martina knew better than to argue with her Cuban grandmother. With a heavy heart, she reached for the cup. But Perez got there first. Quick as a mouse, he splashed Café Cubano onto Martina's shoes. Now the coffee was on the other foot. Martina was too delighted to be angry. At last, she'd found her perfect match. But she had to ask, "How did you know about the coffee test?" Perez grinned.
Well, mi amor, my love, you see, I too have a Cuban grandmother.
So, friends, the moral of the story, what do you think it is? There are many answers, but here are some that we thought of. Listen to your elders. Try to see people for who they really are, and just be yourself. And also, beauty can only be found on the inside. Well, that's one of the places beauty can be found. Now, I want to see if you were listening I bet when you read this sentence, or when you heard this sentence, "Sí, abuela," Martina knew better than to argue with her Cuban grandmother. Did you know what abuela meant? Well, of course you did. Abuela just means grandmother. So friends, make sure and listen to your advice of your abuela and be safe. Make sure and wear your mask when you're out, wash your hands often, and practice social distancing and enjoy your time at home with your family. Thank you.